Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gwent After Dark. We usually broadcast on Sundays, but we had some scheduling conflicts with myself, really. So we're doing it today, which actually worked out better because today is the day of the patch. The patch got released today, so we will be talking about that. And first, let me introduce, as always, Ruben VDB.
Hey guys, what's up? As Shifu said, I'm Ruben, and I'm the co-host of Gwent After Dark. Always glad to be here, always glad to communicate with you guys. It's always fun to talk about Gwent.
Yes, and I am Shifu of the weather. I guess I'll keep that for a little while longer. It's good to have everybody here. We're going to be doing some good discussions today, and I'm very under the weather today, so I apologize for my voice. But we're going to get it going. We're going to start this candle. Light this candle. There we go. Once again, we see Ruben is in the house. We've got a picture and everything, so that shows it. And then please join us in the Gwent Discord server so we can get some content here, and that is on the screen. We have the schedule for today. Sorry, geez. Impressions Week 3, patch notes, future content speculation, Beta Brawl 2 thoughts, general format thoughts for the future. So I'll let Ruben start off with impressions from Week 3, my man.
How was week 3 for you? Week 3 for me was actually pretty fun. I think I made some really good decks. I discovered some really good Squirtle decks as well. I think Squirtle is gonna be a powerhouse in the next tournament, for example, because it almost didn't get touched except for the Hawker support that now will die by some spells. But I think Squirtle will be more a getaway for me now in the next tournament than Northern Realms, actually, surprisingly, because Northern Realms right now is in a really weird spot. But before the patch, it was. I think everyone was playing Northern Realms. Everyone knew how to play it, and that kind of annoyed me. So, I mean, it was just too easy, in my opinion. And everyone did it, and everyone played the same deck with trebuchets, this medics, and that. And it was just a little annoying for everyone, but especially for me because I couldn't make a really good deck because that was the best deck or something, and be like, hey, I'm a Northern Realms player, and nobody was like, you're a Northern Realms player? Good for you, you know? Everyone was like, who the fuck is? Because everyone played Northern Realms, and yeah, that was kind of annoying. So that wasn't as much in the first week for Northern Realms. I don't know. What did you think about the third week?
It's interesting. You know, it's interesting that I agree with what you said. The first week, when it first came out, it looked like Monster Weather. Everybody hated Monster Weather. Monster Weather was really strong, dominant, and everyone was complaining. Monster Weather needs to be nerfed. Monster Weather needs to be nerfed. Then by the time Beta Brawl 2 rolled around, it was Northern Realms trebuchets need to be nerfed. It was just really, it's really cool how we're seeing waves of different decks, and Skellige's was rising before the patch. I'm sorry?
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah. So we went from monsters to Northern Realm / Skellige, and Soitel was always in the back burner. And I totally agree with what you just said. Soitel, to me, matter of fact, as soon as the patch rolled out, I built like 4 Soitel decks because they're just stronger now than they were. I think that the Trebuchet Dragon Reavers or Dragon Hunters, Reaver Hunters, excuse me, the Trebuchet Reaver Hunters, that was just really tough to deal with. It was just, you could just sit there and promote them and then just have them. In fact, we played. I think that after our last show we played, you had a Trebuchet deck that was really nasty, different than the others, but still had the Trebuchets, and it's just really hard to deal with. So I'm kind of glad they nerfed that, to be honest with you.
And it was really disrupting as well because when you played something like that, it was just 2 damage every time, 2 damage, and that's a lot if you have like 4 or 3 trebuchets on the board, and I think that's why I know that's why they removed the 2 damage and changed it to 1. But that's for the patch notes talk actually.
Right.
They did that because it was too disrupting, and they felt too annoying because, like, for example, the devs never want any card that messes with your opponent's hand. Like, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. They would never want a card like that because it feels bad, and they tested around with that. They played around with it, and they've decided that they would never ever do something like that. So it made sense for them. They don't really like the disrupting play. They want some of it in there, but they don't want it to be overwhelming. And every Northern rounds they played it, every single one.
Yeah.
So it was overwhelming, and that's why they nerfed it.
Yeah, I totally, man. Yeah, it was everywhere. It was so annoying to deal with because it's hard to get rid of them. And then they buffed themselves, and then it was just ridiculous. And then you can promote them, and then you couldn't touch them, and it was like, oh my god. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
It was just too solid. Even if you didn't run a deck that kind of revolved around disrupting your opponent, still running that was amazing. I mean, it was just too solid. You could put it in every deck. That's why it was so strong.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, so I know we're pretty much just kind of whopping all around it, but let's just go. I think we should go right into patch notes. That's why everybody's kind of here. That's like the big. You just want to go point by point because yeah. So the first one, it says change the rarity of legendary leaders to epic. Players receive 600 scraps. That is huge, and I just want to thank CDPR. To me, that was one of the big things. People couldn't build new decks because they didn't have all the leaders. It was too hard to craft stuff. So now we're going to see, I think, a huge variation in decks now.
A variety of leaders. I mean, for example, Northern Rounds, you can pretty much run any kind of leader, and you don't have to specifically build a deck around it. I mean, Hansel is maybe a little specific, but you can totally choose between Foltest and Radovid, for example. And I think people couldn't because it was legendary, but now people will be able to make that decision because it's 200 scraps. That's nothing. I think epics in this game are really cheap, but legendaries are a thing you're working towards. But epics are just easy to get. And also, yeah, thanks to CDPR, I suddenly had 2K scraps in my bank. It was amazing. It was so cool.
Yeah, I had 3K, man. I was like, that's what enabled me to build that Soytail deck. That's why all of a sudden all these Soytail cards that I wanted, I have now. So I'm like really excited. Yeah. And then the next, I'm sorry, I'm really sick. I apologize. The monster faction ability no longer keeps gold units on the battlefield.
It's like the old one, but still, I mean, it's still that random element, you know. I know they won't open with Geralt,
right?
And
Eridan, Geralt Eridan combo, yeah.
But still, it's still that random element, you know. I would like to see something. It's a really good temporary option, in my opinion, but I'd like to see something different there.
Really?
They could change it up completely, in my opinion, and make something much better than that ability. Because people will still get angry about it and stuff like that. I mean, it still doesn't feel that right. It's a good fix for now, but I can do something better that revolves around monsters more, because it's just such a random ability. Right.
Well, that's interesting you said that, guys. That's very interesting. This could be good. I think we have a little disagreement here, which is good. That's good. So I think that they did the right thing by doing the gold, which you agree with. I think that's always been the monster ability from from Witcher, excuse me. So I just kind of always assumed to keep it. It is random, I agree with you, but I like having that little random element where you can try to buff your units, and usually it's a Foglet that stays on the board for me anyway, and it goes away. But I really like the monster ability, and I really like the fact that they stopped that stupid Eridan Geralt turn 1 that everyone lower level was doing. It was just obnoxious.
Yeah, it's...
And then we got the unit version of Eridan continuing the monster theme. The unit version of Eridan is now silver and immune to frost, and he's a wild hunt.
I think this is like a small buff, a very, very, very small
right.
buff, and quite a bigger nerf to it.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, go ahead.
He's still immune to frost though, but still, I mean, Geralt Igni can just ruin him, or a Scorch or something like that. And I think that's where the small nerf is, which was kind of needed in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
But his small buff is then that it's a wild hunt unit,
which
is a really small buff.
Right. So I have a lot of thoughts on this. As a matter of fact, the very first match I played this morning, right after the patch, I went against a monster, and I can tell you, I play a lot of monster decks, but it was very nice. I had a dual buff on an archer. It was very nice to ping 5 right off Eridan's face. It was very nice to just knock him out right off the bat. It was pretty nice. And then the Wild Hunt. I'm trying to make a Wild Hunt deck around the card, the silver card that does 1 every time you summon a Wild Hunt. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. Thank you. And so I'm trying to build a deck around Wild Hunts that gives you a little more Wild Hunt synergy, but there's still not enough of that to make a Wild Hunt deck totally yet. But it does give you, also they've. Well, I'll get that in a second. Yeah. So I agree. I think the Area nerf was good.
Yeah, it was deserved in my opinion. Yeah.
This one is huge. Clear Skies now only resets red strength values. This is monstrous. They've taken the Demetrian Bomb effect out of clear weather.
I think that's a very good thing, but it's also like if your opponent, if your opponent doesn't or reverses units, it's still really weird. I think it's a really weird card to play. I played it just because of this. I wanted to see if it was viable to play. Unfortunately, I think I queued against 5 Northern Realms opponents or something, so I didn't get to use it a single time. So I didn't get to see this effect or anything. But theoretically speaking, I don't think this will make Clear Skies a must include in one of your decks, for example, because it still has the grand problem of Clear Skies. If you queue against another Northern Realms player or a Scoia'tael or whatever, it's still a dead card, and a dead card is huge in Gwent, especially on higher levels. And yeah, I don't think this is gonna make it for Clear Weathers. It's nice, and this was needed for it, but I don't think this will make Clear Skies viable in decks.
Yeah, I am. That's interesting. I think it will, because I think you're going to see a rise of Scoia'tael weather. I was playing some Scoia'tael today, and then playing around with Aeromancy and Scoia'tael is truly ridiculous. And you can get so many cards back and so many draw cards that it's really tough. I think you'll see some weather decks, non-monster, come out of this. I think Clear Skies. I think it might see some play. I think you got to include 1 now, and hopefully you can get it. And then if you go against a monster or a Scoia'tael weather, I don't know. But yeah, you're right though. It is hard to put that 1 card in. So #26.
No, never.
And then when weather is removed at the end of the round, only red strength values are reset. That's the huge one. You can now your buffs stay.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. If you wanted to, but I think the most where this appeared the most, I think, were with dwarf decks, where all the the things were resilient, and you buffed them through the weather. And then suddenly next round your resilient units are back to 5 or something, and that was really annoying. And right now that won't happen anymore, which is amazing because it was necessary. That was just illogical in my opinion, and now they changed it, so it's a logical change in my opinion. If people are like, what is that supposed to happen, and CDPR is like, maybe, well, the people think that should happen, the other thing should happen, so they're very likely to change it then. It's the same with, for example, Shani plus Paveda. When you Shani out Paveda, she still kills herself before she turns golden. And I said that to Rethas, and he was like, so you think that's weird? And I said, yeah, I think it's really weird, because that's like a combo you should be able to do, Shani Paveda and clear the whole board, or most of the board. And he said yeah, well, because you think it's weird, we're likely to change it, because you would expect something different. You wouldn't expect that what happened just happened, but you expect the other thing. So they look to people's opinions and reactions to what should happen, and then they go and change some stuff because on a basis of that. If that makes
it makes sense. I'm following you. You're totally right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so they definitely have some things. I'm still waiting. I actually have one. I was hoping that the Witcher and the potions would be fixed. That's the only thing. Yeah, and I asked Rethus, and he said that they are still, they want to fix it, but they're still having problems with it, so it may never be fixed, which kind of sucks, because I really have a deck I want to run with that. But I love the fact that Rethus is sitting there with us. He answers questions tirelessly, man. Unbelievable. He
A
hasn't.
lot of questions.
Yeah, man,
His
he's
patience is
God.
true.
I wouldn't.
It's a-
And stupid questions sometimes too. Like just stupid. Just and he answers them all with. It's very amazing. So this is a huge one. The Philippa nerf. People on Discord this morning were just for me this morning afternoon over there, but Philippa no longer affects gold cards. Her strength was increased from 6 to 12, and she's disloyal only. So I think you played Philippa, didn't you? You love Philippa.
I did. I hated Philippa.
Oh, okay.
I didn't play her because I hated her. She felt too cheap, and I didn't want to win because of Philippa. You know, I wanted to win because I had a good realm stick and not Philippa. Yeah, and but I ran her in tournaments, of course, because she was. I want to win more than I want to be very like noble or
Right,
something.
right.
You know? But I played her now just to test her if she's still viable, and oh, she is not. Trust me, she's not unplayable, but she's no.
She got hammered. This was the only one that I saw that was that and the reinforced. We'll talk about that. But Philippa was the closest thing I saw to a Blizzard nerf. You know when Blizzard just nerfs the hell out of it, and you can't ever play that card again. This was pretty close. They put a death sentence on her.
Well, but she was really broken as well.
I agree.
I mean, every unit now golden. No golden units. That's a good one. 6 to 12, also a good one. But then I thought like you can still play like a 14 strength for Northern Realms on your own board. What? And then I saw she's disloyal only, which is that makes sense. That changed because if you could play, I mean, I just use her to play it. First turn, place her on my boards, and then have a 14 strength as Northern Realms. Be insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's disloyal only now, which is she's unplayable. She's literally you can't play her anymore.
There's gonna be some people that are gonna try to just to show that you can, but man, you'd have to make a deck totally around that, and then the chances of you not drawing her would still be there, and I just don't see her.
The thing is, people are like people don't build on one lane anymore.
Yeah.
You need like 20 strength or something of normal units to make her actually have a little value, and even then, I mean, there's probably golden units on that road. There's probably other units on that road that can be buffed or something like that. Or he has Dimeridian Bomb. There's too many counters as well to fill up on, or like a counter Dimeridian Bomb that everyone runs. So she's not worth it anymore. She's totally not. It's really hard to get value out of her now, and I think he should just play another golden card. There's so many better golden cards now than her, so you should just play another one.
Yeah, Philippa's done. Ice Giant, I don't think we spend much time on Ice Giant. Ice Giant loses 7 strength when Frost is removed instead of resetting to base strength.
That's a strong buff actually. I was like nothing too special there or something, but people on Discord said that it was really strong actually, and we'll have to see. I haven't played against it yet, so I can't really judge it so far, but people so far on Discord have said it was a good buff.
I've never been a big fan of Ice Giant. I just never have. I mean, yeah, he got stronger for sure, but I'm just biased. I'm not a big fan of Ice Giant. And here, of course, the big boy, the reinforced trebuchet nerfs. Strength increased to 4 to 5 to counteract some of the nerfage, which is nice. Damage reduced from 2 to 1, which was so totally called for, and they no longer buff each other. I mean, again, CDPR. I'm not trying to. They're great. They listened to all the feedback. They saw how just fucking broken that was, and they just fixed it. They did a good fix to reinforce trebuchets. They're still viable. They're not like Philippa where they got completely banhammered, but they now are more realistic. They're
still pretty solid. There,
yeah.
But and the buffs to each other that they removed that was really logical in my opinion. But a lot of people are kind of sad that it does 1 damage now, because that's a big one. 1 damage or 2 damage. That's a big nerf, and I think that's what's going to make them not viable. I'm not going to run them anymore, I think.
Really? You think they're completely... They think they're just not good anymore at all to not use?
you need like 4 or 6 turns to make them as much as I mean, what's the value of a normal bronze card? 8, right? And a silver is 10, and a golden is 12, right?
Yeah.
So you need 5. So you need 6 turns to make them have their basic value.
Fair enough.
That's
a really good. That's a really smart observation. I like that. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
And also, the thing is with trebuchets, if you run Geralt Igni, they disrupt my plan because sometimes they play like Reaver Hunters and they have like 3 Reaver Hunters. They're all on 6 except for 1 because your trebuchet hit that, and you want to play Geralt Igni, but you only killed 2, and instead you would have killed 3. So and now that I'm running Geralt Igni, they just disrupt more than they do good. I mean, 1 damage is more disrupting than actually removing any value or something.
That's a good point.
So I'm not gonna run that anymore. Especially when you run Geralt Igni, I wouldn't run that.
There you go. Toradar Shieldsmith. This is one I started running a lot of Skellige decks.
Every Skellige deck.
I love Skellige, right? Every Skellige deck has a Shieldsmith. Strength increase from 3 to 4. Buff reduced from 4 to 2. You're still going to use it, though. I mean, you're still going to... That's still a 2 buff. You have to. I mean, it goes with Dimetrian Bomb combos. You can still buff out Morkvarg, which I'm glad they fixed him. So I don't think that was... I think it was a good buff. I mean, a good nerf. But it's still... you have to play Shieldsmiths.
You have to. That's Skellige. I mean...
Yeah.
It has defined Skellige because they were so strong. And I think the nerf is a little bit deserved, but I think they should have let them stay at the same strength and let them go to 3 or buff them. Their buff change it to 3 instead of 4. 4 was a lot. You could get insane strength for the Roach. For example, Roach was really dirty in Skellige decks. Every time a 20 that appears or something, that was insane. But 2 is like, ooh, that's not much. That's a small buff now.
And I think what it makes you do, I totally agree. This is an interesting subject. It makes you build decks better. Like, you can still get a massive Roach buff if you just use, it makes you plan a little bit more for the Shieldsmiths and get max value out of them as opposed to just put them on the board and getting 4.
Yeah.
Now you can bounce them back, decoy them back, however you want to do it. You can still do it. You just need to be a little more deck savvy. You get it done.
That's good.
Yeah, I love, and for those of you that still some people that are new that watch this show to Gwent, just so you understand, the way that Skellige with the Shieldsmiths work is they buff the base value of cards. And so what that means is with Skellige decks, they would buff either Morkvarg or any of their cards. It doesn't matter, but Morkvarg or Roach was common. And what they do is they get onto a high number, and then the other decks would have to try to buff their cards to meet it. Then you could use Dimetrian Bomb, which would then neutralize their side, but it wouldn't neutralize your side because the Shieldsmith buffs base value, which made it so key, and still key today. So that's kind of what we're talking about. I just want to break that down because if you're not really familiar with the game, you're kind of confused of what the hell we're talking about. But the Shieldsmith buffs original value, which was key to Skellige. So that's kind of where we're going there. Sarah, self-buff decreased from 4 to 3. Any thoughts on that one?
Deserved. She could get out of control really quickly, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, and I don't think that's a huge nerf. That's a little nerf.
3 is still a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Hawker supports, how fast they can get
Right.
out of control. So it's really not a single card should get in the 40s or something. Really quick.
Right.
I mean, I've had that with Sarah. Goddamn Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah, somebody plays Sarah in weather decks. I understand. Yeah, Sarah is fun. Nature's Gift no longer copies gold cards.
I think that's only the case with Ragnarok, right?
Yeah. Added. Oh God, here we go. So this one.
The biggest.
Right.
In my opinion, this is the biggest thing about the patch.
Yes, I agree. Added the medic category. Priestess of Freya cannot resurrect cards with medic, and the dreaded field medic cannot resurrect cards with medic.
Rip, medic chain.
Medic chain rip, yep. Medic chain, the dreaded turn 3 54-point medic chain combo is done.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God, yeah. I'm a little sad because Northern Realms is in this weird spot where they want to run medics, but they kind of don't, and it feels so odd right now. It feels so odd.
It does. I played that same game where I played at Northern. Well, I played Monster and then I played a Northern Realm deck, and it was interesting though. I played a Henselt Northern Realms deck, which I think are going to be very common now. And it was they didn't use Medic. They used Shawnee still. Shawnee's still there. It's still a very strong deck. You just come right. I think you see a lot more promote decks now in Northern Realms, which will be fun.
Yeah, I'll try to make one deck like that, but it's gonna be hard to make a really viable top level promote deck. That's gonna be insanely hard. I mean, I want to be that creator of the deck, but I don't think I can make a deck like that. That's viable on top level. It's so hard. I've tried it before, but it's insane. So yeah, go ahead.
No, my Medic. I think that was good. That was a good change.
It was needed.
It was very needed. Yeah. As someone that abused the Priestess of Freya, I can honestly tell you that it was. I mean, I don't know how many times I heard that stupid Virgin Mother and Crone. It's like in my head. Like every round, resurrect them all. So I'm glad. I also like the fact that the Queen. Do you have any more on the Medic? I saw the next one and I skipped a little bit.
Oh, go ahead. We have a lot of things.
Yeah, Queen's Guard. I love the Queen's Guard. I have a girl power deck, so I'm glad that it increases Ceres's base strength. So that's good.
I think Ceres is gonna be. I think Ceres is gonna be. As soon is gonna be a base thing about Skellige. It used to be like buffing up Olgierd or Morkvark or the other things that come out of the graveyards and get +4. It used to be buffing up those guys, but now I think it's gonna revolve around Ceres and her Queen's Guard. Those decks will, I think, yeah. CDPR also wanted to have more of those because I don't think a lot of people played those, and it can be really strong, and it's also harder to play. So I think they're more en route with those kind of decks, and I think that's good. It's pretty good.
What's up, Mythic Pilot? We have somebody in the audience finally. Mythic Pilot. I think everybody's on the Twitch channel, so I'm not sure, but what's up, Mythic Pilot, man? Good to have you, man. Seriously. So we're going through the patch notes. Yeah, no, I think the Queen's Guard will act as their own medic, which I think is nice. Elven, and now going to Soitel, kind of bouncing around here on the patch notes. Elven Mercenary no longer draws and plays gold special cards. So that's a good one.
I think that the only golden card she could draw was Ragnarok, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Now this is one I'm kind of curious about this one because you said this was still really powerful. I think when we talked just for a second before the show. Priscilla now draws 2 revealed cards. Player chooses which one to play. I thought that was a really significant nerf, but you don't think so?
I think it's not a buff maybe because it was really strong to play 2 random units, 2 bronze units.
Right.
But right now she's still as strong, as big as a must as she was before. This is insane. I mean, she draws special cards, right? So she's basically an upgraded Elven Mercenary. If she draws a decoy, you choose decoy and you play decoy on her. If you need something, Last Wish or something is in between there, you just choose do I play that unit or do I play Last Wish? Bam! You decoy her again. You revive her from the graveyard. You can play her like 5 times, and you have all these options. If you're playing against monster weathers, and you have a clear weather in your deck, you just play Priscilla over and over. You will get either a Dimeridian Bomb or a clear weather or something. You have just so much options that pass by while you keep playing her, because as a Northern Realms players, of course, you keep playing her as well. You just play her again, you revive her, you decoy her, I don't know, you can do just so much things to replay her, and I think, yeah, people are saying in Discord, I'm not saying it's a buff, alright, in power level, she's definitely not a buff, but in versatility against these top tier, if you're playing in a tournament or something and you need one specific card, Priscilla is gonna be the way to search for your cards now. She's gonna be amazing, and she has so much versatility and flexibility that it's just I think she's a must card.
See, I didn't read that. I didn't actually notice that it now changed to any card. I was still thinking it was a unit card. No, I totally agree with you. I think that's a huge deal. No, I didn't really see the whole thing. I guess I was still thinking units. The fact that she can draw any cards?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I think she doesn't draw golden cards though. That's one thing to keep in mind. But she can draw Decoy, Last Wish, Scorch even. My god, if you draw a Scorch with her, it can be so powerful. I mean, and the thing is, you don't have to Scorch. You can also choose the other option.
Right.
So the thing that you have two options out of your deck, and they can be special cards. It's so good. It's
I agree.
amazing.
I did not
So
see that.
I think Northern Realms is going to play a little more weather now as well, because they can choose with Priscilla. I mean, the poor thing is Priscilla is going to be if you don't have Priscilla, it's going to be hard to actually make a deck like that work. But I just kept playing her. When I got her in my first round, and I just put her down, played her again, decoyed her, drew a decoy with her, decoyed her. It's basically another mercenary thing. So decoy your Priscilla. That's pure value in round wise. But I think she's amazing right now. She's truly amazing.
That's good. That's really strong. It's a good call out. It's a real good call out. Now this one, I'm a huge fan of Regis. I like the character quite a bit. Regis Higher Vampire is now silver, and his strength the higher vampire form strength is now decreased from 10 to 8. I'll just say this: he's still gold on mine. I don't know if anybody else has seen. He's still a gold card, so I don't know.
Regis himself is a gold card, but the thing he is.
Got you. He hasn't proc. Okay.
A higher vampire is.
Got you. Okay, so I misunderstood. Okay, so there. I think that's pretty solid. That's actually a huge nerf.
That's a huge nerf, yeah.
That is a huge nerf.
Kind of unplayable right now.
Yeah.
He was really strong, but it was the kind of deserved strong because it split the strength in two, kind of. And I think that was a good thing, but now it's.
Well, he's less than a short. So that doesn't make.
But yeah, he does have 6 strength with Yeah, he's less than a short. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's like just taking forget. Yes, I know his a 6 is more than a 1 on the cow, but a higher vampire shouldn't. It's picking, right? But a higher vampire shouldn't be underneath a chort in power levels. It's just kind of weird. Like I don't know.
True.
But
I know why they made it silver though, because Northern Realms had a free Geralt otherwise.
Okay, yeah.
It was a 12 strength if it was golden. So that was basically just like 8 strength first and then a free Geralt in the next turn. That was insane. But like, yeah, it's a deserved nerf because it was a really, really powerful card. But right now that's a big nerf. I mean, that's a really big nerf.
It is, and I think he that's the second after the Philippa. That's the second biggest, yeah. And then this one's huge. It goes back to Ceres as well. Demetrian Bomb now resets gold unit strength. So now Northern Realms players can't buff, promote, and they're untouchable. Demetrian Bomb now clears that too. That is monster strong.
Well, it doesn't. No, I don't think it solves it though, because if you promote, the base strength gets set, or like it won't go. Like imagine if your opponent buffs horns, and say his trebuchets or something are 80 strength both, right? And he then promotes them, right? They get 2 strength, so they're both 82, right?
Right.
Because it's golden then, and if you then die Meridian Bomb, they will go back to 80 because their base strength gets changed when you promote a unit.
So why? Okay. So why would that be good? Why would 2 points? That's it. That's all you get out of that.
Well, against Northern Realms, yeah, but maybe against other things. I've tried to come up with something.
Yeah, like what buffs gold? Nothing buffs gold cards, to my knowledge.
Yennefer doesn't.
Well, Yennefer, yeah.
Against cards like for example, Roach or Yorveth or Triss, if they get damaged, you can also put them back on normal strength. So that's one thing to keep in mind.
You can heal. Yeah. Okay. So I thought that was I was hoping that meant that you could knock out buff promote. Okay. So that sucks. So I'm not as excited about that anymore. I'm done. Redanian Elite now only takes into account instances on your side. I didn't even know it. You could. I didn't know if it worked that if you had 2 on your side and 1 on their side, it would promote. So that's interesting.
That's never happened to me.
Yeah.
I don't think that happened to a lot of people, but still interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Siegfrieda's strength increased from 1 to 2. I'm very happy with that. That's a really huge.
1 was so little.
Yeah.
It was just like she got up to 8 or 9 or 10 maximum, but it didn't go much higher than that, and that was really unfortunate. Now the 2, you gotta keep something in mind. I mean, she can get up to 14 or something, or 16 even. Not so much actually anymore with the nerf to the field to the automatics, but still a good buff.
Well, it brings her more in line with Sarah. I mean, Sarah is still. I mean, having her at 1 and Sarah at 4 made no sense. They had to have some kind of.
Yeah.
They brought them closer together. Restoration now grants +2 buff to base strength. That's really good. Especially, it makes restoration more playable. Such a word.
Yeah, I think it's a must-have now. Restoration. Yeah. It's just really good right now. Actually,
they
said some units you can revive, and yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I think restoration.
Draug no longer destroys gold units.
I don't like that nerf. I think that was a good thing if it destroyed gold units.
I agree.
I mean, it's part of the card. I mean, when do you get to kill a golden unit that's below 3 strength? And also, that means promotes and things like that are going to be even stronger again. Which is, no, I don't think this is a good nerf. You can see maybe why they did that, because of Philippa a little bit as well. They went in that direction a little bit. They want to make Colby units, I think, a little more invincible. But I don't think this wasn't needed in my opinion.
I agree. It wasn't needed. I agree with you completely. This one I really like. I built a trap deck with Soyatel. One of the 4 decks I built this one was a trap deck. And I like this. Fireball Trap now spawns 1 Neophyte instead of none when target is not destroyed. So at least you get some kind of value from it, even if it doesn't proc. So I kind of like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I made a Neophyte deck. So it's actually Neophyte decks are actually they're pretty strong. So I'm still working with it. Discarding on-crate raiders now counts as a discard, despite their ability being triggered.
This was needed because
oh my God.
What's the warrior's name or the captain? The Clan Andiram captain or something.
Yeah, Clan Dunham Pirate Captain.
Yeah, if you played let's say Last Wish or what's his name, Ermion, and then you discarded some warriors that got played on the instead, then you were like. But where's the synergy here?
Right.
I mean, yeah, it felt right because you're discarding and you're making a discard-based deck, but then it didn't get buffed, so there was like no reason to play that card, and it was a little weird. But now they fixed that, and it's a really good fix in my opinion.
Yeah, because you got punished. I wanted to build. I had a discard deck in Tabletop Simulator, and it was like this isn't working right. Like that, if you happen to come across a raider and played it, you get punished by not getting the buff. So I'm glad they fixed that. That's huge for discard Skellige.
Yeah, I think so too. This was needed. Same with Morkvarg. Where is he? I think
down the bottom. Yeah, we just skipped that. Yeah, Morkvarg also resurrected when discarded.
That's huge. I mean, that is absolutely huge. There's no reason you shouldn't run Morkvarg right now.
I love Morkvarg. And just a side note, I had a Hearthstone Pro. I'll leave him nameless. But Hearthstone Pro and I kind of got into a little bit with Roach v Morkvarg and Skellige, which one's better. And I still will, to my dying day, will take Morkvarg over Roach. That's just me. Just want to say that out loud.
Same.
Yeah, I just love Morkvarg. I appreciate you having my back. Oh, man.
Such a cool card, man. Such a cool card as well.
And I love I know, not to get off on Morkvarg, but the sound effects from Morkvarg are awesome.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
Just awesome card. I wish I want to get his special or foil or whatever. I forgot what it's called, but I want to get that version for him. Premium, thank you. Okay, sorry about that. I got kind of. This is huge. Returning a card to your hand from the battlefield now clears all effects, even countdown.
Also, when I noticed if like a trebuchet goes to the graveyard, if his timer was on 1, it now goes to 2. So a Reaver Scouts, if they die and they already summoned their other Reaver Scout, so their timer was gone, they go back and their timer in the graveyard is 2. So medicing out a Reaver Hunter is less bad now because it might still have a chance to pull one because the timer just gets reset, which is yeah, that's a huge deal in my opinion.
Also, Okvist.
Okvist, yeah. Other cards that count down, yeah, not so much Bork, but
right.
Yeah, I think this is good. This is.
Well, then again, actually, if you you know what, if you did Kaedweni Sargent or Dykstra him, and because a lot of times you played that Mork in your deck, right?
I did play him a little bit, yeah.
Bork, I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I after I saw that, I played him, and usually when you played Bork, the opponent passed the first round. If you could depromote him, bring him back to your hand, and reset the timer, man.
Or just when he already triggered, and then depromote him, then Kaedweni Sargent him, so he goes to the graveyard as a silver, and then when you bring him back, that will work in the Hansel deck actually.
Yeah.
That would re-grab with promotes and stuff. I think that'd be pretty good actually.
Pretty dirty.
We have a new strategy here.
Unveiled.
I'll try it out though.
Alright, I'm going. Saskia now has the dragon category.
That's odd. I don't know the lore about Saskia though.
Neither do I. But something's happening. I noticed we're going to get to the elf. Oh, actually, here it is. Elf category added to several units. So they're going to start to brand. I think have a lot of synergy between races and factions.
I love that.
Me too.
I really love that, yeah.
Weather now affects ambush cards after they are revealed.
That's good. That's logical. It didn't before, so now it's good. Actually, the Torville get. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's nothing more to say about that. Actually.
Yeah.
It's just kind of that makes sense. So.
Now this is going back to Okvist. Now it becomes very playable. Okvist now returns to a player's hand even if there are no units on the opposing side.
It didn't before.
No. No, so that's good.
I consider running him actually. He seems a little better now.
Yeah, much better. Yeah, a lot better actually. Be surprised. Bork will not scorch a second unit if he scorches himself first. That makes sense.
I don't like that. It's the same with Pavetta. Pavetta, if she kills herself first, nothing else gets killed, and I just don't like that. I mean, the spell is already cast, you know. Everything should die.
No, it makes sense. Okay, I get you. So yeah, okay, I see your perspective now. Now we got talked about more for Hawker's support no longer gets buffed when destroyed by Scorch or Epidemic. Was that a thing?
Yeah.
Apparently it was. Hawker's support.
It didn't really matter though because it.
Right. Yeah. Hawker's support ability now works correctly with cards such as Lacerate. That's huge, obviously.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. And also, what's the name of the card? It's with the 2 damage across the whole board for the enemy.
When it does what?
2 damage.
Stabber for Trimmer.
Yeah. That also kills it now, for example. So that's pretty huge because some people run it and now they can actually kill them.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. I mean, that's good. That should be the way it is. Roaches now play correctly when a card is converted to gold. That's good.
That means that if I promote a unit, before it was played, Roach came out, but now it doesn't, right?
Right.
Or is it the opposite?
Well, no, now when you convert one, he comes out.
Alright, okay.
Geralt Igni no longer takes into account unrevealed cards.
Yeah, that makes sense as well.
Right.
These are also fixes that just make sense.
Right, they're fixing, yeah, exactly. Cards immune to weather display a passive icon. That's pretty interesting. That's good. Torviel now reveals if your opponent ends the game.
Torviel Cetaphil got fixed. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, she might be.
Yeah. Priscilla no longer blocks the game if she draws cards that require targets on the first turn. Well, that's always good.
That was pretty. That was like the card that got in the middle of your screen and got stuck there. That was annoying.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. Nah, let's see what else. The rest of them, I mean, I don't know if we want to go into game fixes, but
no, it's not necessary.
Yes, there's a lot. There's a lot of game fixes, tool tips, and stuff like that. Looks pretty good. So, yeah, that's basically the patch. So, what are your thoughts? Great patch. Good patch.
Great patch. I mean, a patch with lots of changes is always a great patch, in my opinion. And also it went in the completely right direction. They did so many good things in this patch, and I mean that's just promising for the future. If they keep doing things like this, I mean, so our next topic here is actually thoughts about the patch and also a little bit the future content speculation. You know. What can we expect in the future out of patches and when the patches are and stuff like that. So I think the future patch might be like in a month or like exactly a month or something. Maybe with fixes like the Witcher stuff, other fixes, all stuff like that. They need some more fixes. Not everything is fixed yet. I mean there are a lot of stuff here that works now, but there's certainly more things that need some patching. So I think they did a really good job here, but I think next month or something, or maybe in 2 weeks, we get a small patch, a really small patch with some new stuff, some more fixes, and then in 1 month or something we get some actual content. I think. I don't know. When do you expect some actual content?
I think. Well, Mythic Pilot in the audience said dev stream. It's dev stream tomorrow. We'll probably announce new content cards for the game. Rethas has been constantly dropping small hints that there's more cards coming. I don't think a lot, but maybe a handful to 20 or so.
Yeah, we need more cards.
Yeah, I agree. Specifically potions and bombs, something I think we have 2 potions, but as we all know, there are many more than 2 potions out there. And we haven't had a bomb yet, so I'm pretty sure that's coming. But I think the next big thing for me, what I would like to see next month or the next patch, is ranked.
Yeah.
I really want ranked.
I think somewhere I heard that they were working on ranked, and that was one of the first things they would add. But I don't recall where I heard that. So don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I just want to have ranked. I just want to see what the ranked system is like. I just want to play ranked.
I want to be first on that ladder, man.
There you go. I want to make whatever the legend is. If there's a legend equivalent like Hearthstone, I want that bad. So that's what
I hope there's something like a symbol or something that gives you like status and you're like
right.
I mean, yeah, you know, like your legend. Shit, man.
Right? Yeah. Like yeah.
I mean, that's something that Hearthstone did right though.
Right.
I mean,
they did a lot right.
It was hard to get to something like legend, and when you actually got there, people were actually impressed, or they said like, "Damn, you're legend." They immediately they were impressed kind of, but they just knew how much you actually played the game and how much you grinded.
Yes,
that's the thing. But in Gwent, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the ladder. I'm playing actually like consistently super good opponents. Like right now, sometimes I get mediocre opponents, and it's just a steamroll, and I don't really like that because it kind of disables when I'm making a video or something, when I try to make one, and I'm up against, I'm trying to give some commentary on my thought process and stuff, and I'm playing against this mediocre opponent, and it's just so hard to actually explain something or an advanced tactic or something, because you're just not playing on the highest level, and I hope the ladder will fix that, because I constantly want to be challenged.
I totally agree. Like I'll play one match against a high level opponent, and it's an awesome experience, win or lose for me. I just the tactics and the combos that a higher level opponent will pull off, and it's great. It's this great duel of the minds and cards, and it's great. And then the next turn you go against somebody that it's like, oh come on, like he scorches his own unit, or It's just like horrible. So yeah, I can't wait for ranked because it's gonna be fun. And then I want to see some new cards. Obviously, everybody does. And I'm really concerned with future expansions because I just as you know, I don't know if you follow Hearthstone at all, but they released their new thing. Gadgets in, right? And they just have so many cool units. I'm just still trying to beat my head thinking, what units could they possibly add to each faction? Like I'm really scared for that, to be honest. Just I'm really because they can add characters. Like The Witcher has great characters, millions of characters, but not really like core. I guess you could do soldiers for each one, but there's not a lot there.
Well, you can do things like, they have like clan and Derman pirates captains. I think they can do quite a lot with words. Like they have Blue Stripes Commando, Blue Stripes Scout, Blue Stripe, I don't know, stuff like that. The Blue Stripes were some lore kind of. They fit with the lore. Every kind of character fits with the lore now.
I guess you can make it like beer guzzlers, bar patrons, crazy stuff like that. Skellige.
I think they can. If you look hard enough, I think you can find still a lot of things. But eventually, it will be harder and harder indeed. But we'll have to see. That's not a concern we should have, though. That's the game developers' concern. So lucky for us that we don't have to think about that.
Fair enough, right? That's fair enough. I know there's. The reason why I thought about it, I just picked up. Hey, Little League, what's up, man? I hadn't finished Blood and Wine. I finished the amazing Hearts of Stone add-on to Witcher 3, and I hadn't finished Blood and Wine. Played it a little bit, and it's just a whole bunch of Regis. If you haven't played it, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I have it. It's amazing.
Awesome. And I was just thinking of all the characters like that are gonna come out from that area, and I'm just so excited about it. But yeah, I think there's gonna be next month. I think by next month we'll have either ranked or spectator mode. I think that's what's coming.
I hope we get either, because I so want spectator mode the most right now. Actually, if I had to rank stuff in what I want most, well, number one, it would be new cards, more cards, so I can make more decks, more interesting decks. People will play more interesting stuff, and not only the best things right now. Second thing is spectator modes, so tournaments become a lot more fun. I think when we get spectator mode, we'll get a lot like smaller invitational kind of tournaments where people are like, where they can actually cast, and they can cast every game. But there's not that many games, but still there's some games. And that third is rank mode, I think. And if I forgot anything, my bad. Those are the top three things I want in order.
I would second that. I want more, I would like more cards, but I don't know when they're coming. Spectator mode will confirm they want esports and official tourneys to Little League, and I agree with that.
Nice. That's really
nice. Totally agree with that. But I would say more cards, then ranked, and then spectator mode. So I guess I just really want to get legend. I'm just hungry to get legend in this game. And then, but yeah, spectator mode. I think they. Well, next question. This is an interesting topic. Do you think this is going to be an esport?
Oh, for sure, for sure. This is too much fun to play and to watch. I think to not be an esport. And I just want it too much to be an esport. Maybe my vision is clouded of how much I want it, But I just want this to become a very busy game. With busy, I mean like crowded, like as Hearthstone is right now. I want that a lot of people play it right now, and I hope it gets popular. I think it will. When it gets open beta, there's still so many people that want keys, and that's a good sign.
It's a good sign, and if you look at the viewership on Twitch, it's never really in that first page. If you're looking on the PlayStation 4, it's always kind of in the middle tier. It's doing better than TSL's doing. TSL is just kind of bottoming out. Hearthstone's always at the top. I think that
Yeah,
also,
Hearthstone is fun to watch.
yeah, but we're also in the beta, so I think we're gonna get more people as it comes out of beta. Plus, there's a whole PS4 audience that's not being tapped into. It's still just Xbox One and PC, and then when it goes to tablets, I think it. Well, we don't know if it's gonna go to tablets, but I think it will. It gets more people.
So, and that's not gonna. I think it has a long way before it goes to tablets because the game is super unoptimized. I mean, playing on this laptop, which can run Battlefield 1, where I'm on now, it cannot run. It lags. I mean, the client is a little bit laggy, and not. I don't think it has to be. I mean, it's beta and it's not that optimized yet, but it needs to get a lot of optimization before it can go to tablets or phones. I mean, a lot before that can happen. And I think it's years away from going there. Unfortunately, I would love it for people to be on tablets and stuff like that, but I think it's a long way.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
But we'll see. I mean, Rethas is always in there asking questions. I know I think the end is more future speculation. But so Beta Brawl 1.5 and 2 happened since our last show and this one. 1.5 was a single deck elimination.
That was a joke, in my opinion.
That was a throwaway tournament, really. I went with Skellige instead of Monsters, and I should have gone with Monsters. I would have had a lot better result. I went 3-2. Got beaten by a Northern Realms Trebuchet deck. I think I can remember correctly. It was good. I mean, it was it's a tournament, but it was just kind of a one-off thing. Northern Realms deck won it, I believe. I think. Who won that one? Do you remember? Morton won that one. Yeah, and then we had the second one. Unless you want to talk more about 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. What do you think about the mode?
At 1.5, I mean, I didn't. It was. I think it was nice of Diviz to try different items. So if you're just looking at trying different formats, that's fine. I don't think it should be repeated again, though. It's kind of. I mean, it was a fun one. I can't really complain. It's a fun little tournament put together.
Yeah, I think the whole thing that Diviz does right now, Beta Brawl, is like a fun, small little tournament to get things a little bit going, and to kind of find the way how things should be and stuff like that. But I don't think 1.5 was good at all. I think it was the worst one so far. I mean, okay, there was like things like he was like, okay, there's a single elimination, but there's a losers bracket, but it's only a best of one. There's always something like, all right, you have that, but it's like that, and there's always something in his format. I mean, people are constantly like proposing stuff, and someone proposed last week something great, and we did that for the second one, but he kind of partially adapted that proposal of that guy, and people were like, why do you adapt only the half of of that idea when you could have done that fully? And I mean, you made a great tournament. Now you made only a half great tournament, and you could have made one that had both of those aspects. And he, like, always when someone proposes something, it's like he kind of, I mean, he disagreed and had a little discussion with that person, but almost everyone, the utmost majority of the people said, like, that's a great idea, but he didn't think it was a great idea, so he adapted it more to his rules, and he could have had a great tournament, in my opinion. But it was always like that. I think sometimes he should put aside his personal feelings of a format or something, and listen to the majority of the people. And I think sometimes he doesn't do that. I mean, respect for Diviz, but yeah, sometimes he's. I mean, we shouldn't take this tournament too seriously because of some things, and I think that's also one of the things. I mean, people are asking for some formats, and we sometimes we just don't get them fully. And I hope next time in the third one this week we get them, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And I just hope the Passiflora can do something great and set an example for something much bigger. Also, every week, I mean, I'm giving a lot of criticism here on the tournament that Diffie's organizes. I mean, it's great. It's great that he does this, but I mean, every week is a little bit draining for a lot of people. That's a lot of tournaments every Saturday. That's hard for some people to. I mean, some people really want to get top 8, like you, Shifu. But suddenly, I mean, sometimes you just can't join, and you can make every Saturday up for like 4 hours of Gwent. That some people just can't do that every week.
Well, yeah.
I don't
So,
know. Yeah.
yes, for me, I can't. I have to work. I'm not gonna be able to do any Saturdays here going forward through December. So I'm kind of like, I'm out of it. But I would say a couple things, some feedback for Deviz if he's watching or if he hears the video. You shouldn't. This is going to sound really bad, right? But you shouldn't participate in the tournament you're hosting, because what happens is you get sidetracked in the middle of your game and everything spins out of control while you're playing, and it looks bad. There's bad optics in it. So I would just say, if you host a tournament, don't participate. So I tried to do that myself, and in another game, and it's just bad, because you have bad feelings and things like that.
I agree there.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that he is putting them on, and that's really admirable of him. I think the Passiflora Championship or the Passiflora Cup is going to be a much better tournament and much better run. Now, again, this is not. It sounds really bad, like we're really throwing. But just being honest, right? That's what we're here for. That's what Gwent After Dark was around for, is a talk show, to be honest. You can't participate and play. I mean, you can't host and participate. It just doesn't work. And the Passiflora Championship appears to be, he's just hosting it. That's all he wants to do. And it seems, I think it's going to be a much better tournament. Every Saturday, I think, is just a little much, because we just don't. It's just unfair to those that have to work or can't be a part of it. That's just me whining, really. But there's no way to do it fair for everybody, really. I mean, maybe just a month at a time, give people a chance to take off of work, kind of be there for it if they want to be there. But it's really just a fun thing anyway. He's holding. It's not like these are stats that are going into the record book forever. I'm not sure. Kind of going everywhere with that. But
to come on the thing of not participating and hosting, that shouldn't go together. There was a thing. He was in the game, and I had like some problems with my opponents, and stuff like that. And I asked Deviz for help, because he was the only admin at that time. He was the only person you could contact for help, but he was in a game, so I had to wait 20 minutes. Maybe it wasn't that 20, but it was definitely 50 minutes, and I just had to wait for him to finish his game before I could get help of him. And it was like a 20-second fix for him, and that was just like, I mean, just because he was playing, if he's not the only organizer, I mean, now he has more admins, and maybe he could do it now, because other people can help me then at the time. But he let a lot of people waiting just because he was playing in himself, and I don't think that's like that's not just so correct when you're an organizer.
Yeah, and he's learning as he goes. I don't know if he's hosted many, so he's just trying to do something for the community, and I really do thank him for it, in all honesty.
Yeah,
but
it's real. I mean, there's nobody yet that has done such a big thing for. I mean, tournament-wise or competitively for the Gwent scene. I mean, Passiflora will do that, but right now he has done the most for the competitive scene. So
sure,
awesome of him.
Yeah, in the first tournament, he and I faced off in the top 8, and he knocked me out of the tournament. So he's a good player as well. Plays some pretty good creative decks. And he's trying to get. I think he's trying to do. He just needs to focus on one or the other, or maybe find someone else to host it while he plays, or just host one of those two. But we'll see. So the second one. The second one. How did you do? I wasn't in it because I had to work. But how'd you do?
I did. I was like really on a big roll, and then suddenly I got placed against the Foro or his name is like that, and I just got. Well, I made some really stupid decisions. I think my biggest mistake that I made on the tournament was that I was way too confident and I played way too fast, and that lost me the game. That lost me the match. So, well, I mean, I had to play with my weakling deck, which was Skellige. I wasn't sure about that deck. I knew it wasn't that as good as the other ones, and I just didn't think enough. So that's why I lost Dunkoro. That's it. I didn't do too good. Not a good tournament to look back on, in my opinion. And while I was really angry on myself because I think I was in one of the strongest positions to win the whole tournament, and I didn't, which I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I wasn't a part of it, so I didn't. I was. I would have wanted to play in that one, but so I haven't heard any announcements. There's going to be a tournament this week. I'm not sure.
Same actually. We suddenly got kicked, and I think I know why we got kicked, because they couldn't remove the purple name over thing, and they just kicked us, and then decided to re-invite us, but they didn't re-invite, so something weird happened there.
Oh, makes sense.
But there isn't an announcement of the third one yet. So.
Yeah, maybe it won't be this weekend. So then the final topic is future speculation, I believe. And Little League said that personally I don't think they will ever go to tablet. I don't think it could run on a tablet, though. Yeah.
They need to optimize it a lot before it can go to a tablet. Or tablets need to become superpowers.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on the future? We kind of touched on it on the previous topic, but how do you want to end it? What are your thoughts?
Sorry, I fell away there. My Discord disconnected.
Not a problem. So we talked about it kind of in the previous one, but how do you want to end it? What are your thoughts? How do you want to end the segment today?
I think there's a lot of future in Gwent, and I just hope with the lead designer as well leaving, which is a big deal. Lead designers that leave in closed betas whatever the reason is, it's a huge deal. I mean, if it's for his family, if it's for something else, if it's not intended, if he's fired, it's a huge deal nonetheless. So I hope everything goes right. I mean, from the patch notes so far, I think everything is going right. But yeah, I think everything is going in the right direction. And if they continue this work, if they continue to go in this direction, I think there's not going to be a problem. I think this game has a lot of potential. We kind of said that every week already, but I think it's going to be a huge hit. Let's say it that way. Once the people of Hearthstone discover this game a little bit and get in this, like right now, people are like, I don't want to get over the hassle of getting a key and stuff like that, and it's not perfect the game. But once it's going to go in open beta, people will try it. I mean, an open beta new card game. Every Hearthstone player tries new card games because they want something refreshing and something new. And I think a lot of people will shift from Hearthstone to Gwent. I think a lot of people will do. But I have actually been asking around of my real life friends what they thought about the game, about Gwent. Like a lot of things, the majority, well not the majority, but some feedback they gave me like about Gwent was that they found it a little boring. They found it really, really slow and boring. That's one thing they said to me. So I think a lot of people that come into Gwent might think the same, and it is, when you think about it, a little bit boring. But for us, it's really strategic and a lot of thinking and bluffing. But for them, the beginning of a card game isn't that much of tactics yet. So and then it can be really slow. That's true.
Well, I don't think I agree. Interesting. That's interesting. Gwent will never have the audience Hearthstone will, because Hearthstone is
And
just
Blizzard.
yeah. I mean, well and it's I think I compare it to checkers and chess. Like Hearthstone is checkers. Anybody can play it. You just got to move a piece and then it's easy. But this is chess, so you're not going to get the same amount of audience, and people aren't going to be as good. You're going to get a person. This is going to sound really bad, but an average player is never going to be a superior player. It's just not. It's just you can't. You'll be aside from card draw and RNG, but just you can outthink and out-prepare and outmaneuver your opponent in Gwent like you can't in Hearthstone. In Hearthstone, it's just a lot of RNG, and that's what makes it fun for people to watch, because anything can happen. and it's just craziness. And so even somebody that just comes in, they have the right cards, they can beat somebody because just RNG happens.
It's so frustrating though.
It is. Oh yeah. Well, no, because you and I are strategic players, so we like to try to plan out and have a theme for our deck. And when something crazy happens, it's like, how do you counter that? You just like it's frustrating. I play Hearthstone. It's fun. I don't play it seriously because it's just too.
Yeah, then it's frustrating. If you play it too seriously, it gets frustrating.
Yeah,
you want to win. And in Gwent, when you lose, you know why you lost.
Right.
It's not always. I mean, like 1 in the 20 games is a little frustrating because you lost to Philippa. But anything else, you're like, okay, yeah, that's. I mean, I get it. In those games. So in Hearthstone, it's usually, oh, he got that. Of course, he got that. Of course, he top decked that. Oh, now of course he has that card. Oh yeah, he did with his lightning storm. He did 3 damage instead of 2. Oh yeah, my lightning storm does 2. Oh right, that's typical, just typical. I mean, that's. I mean, but the thing is, everyone that played Hearthstone against the Shaman right now can actually agree or has had those feelings. And in Gwent, I don't think you get frustrated a lot, even on the higher level in tournaments. Well, in tournaments, if you lose because I lost and I got really frustrated because I made a mistake, not because my opponent had more luck, which was, I mean, I just made a super dumb mistake and I got angry at myself, not at the game, which is a good thing because I'll learn from that, and next time I'll keep that in mind that I won't make that mistake again. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get. I mean, Hearthstone's always going to have a place. And they keep on churning out expansions. They're way ahead. I mean, you got to think about that too. They're years ahead, so they have a whole bunch more cards than Gwent we are going to have. They have just a bunch of fun stuff. They're now they've got their system. Gwent is still working on a system, so it's really an unfair comparison. Although I just say that I would play Gwent all day compared to Hearthstone. I like the strategy element, the strategic element of it. I like the fact when I'm going against a monster player, for example, and I'm Soyatel, and maybe I have a weakness to weather in the particular deck I'm playing, how to plan around that, the thought process of the mulligan, what to get for special cards, how he plays, all factors in, versus Hearthstone, I play a shaman, and I know I'm going to get that stupid Trog, Tone Trog, turn 1, the 3/4 turn 2. It's like this game's much better to me, but I don't think it'll be as universally accepted as Hearthstone. But I think when people don't understand it, some people are just really ignorant at math too. So it takes a little more intelligence than your average game, your average card game. So I think that might scare away some people. I hate to sound bad, but my country just voted Trump for president, so I'm kind of scared. So I'm sorry, a little political there. But so for me, the future single player. Oh, there we go. This is a great point for Little League, and I forgot about this. He says single player campaigns are going to bring in the Witcher base. I can't wait to see. That is huge. Yes. I am very much excited about single player. Anything with Witcher and story, I'm in. Totally in.
Yeah, some people just want more Witcher stories and contents. I mean, they know they're not going to get a new Witcher game, not a next expansion.
They have to.
Like that.
They have to have a Witcher 4. They have to. I'm sorry. It's killing me, man. You can't do it.
And so people want more Witcher because it was so good. And I think Gwent is a real good way to get some people in, because once they're definitely gonna do a release trailer, and they're definitely gonna show their single player campaign, and a lot of people will look like that. You know what? That actually seems a lot like The Witcher, and it seems a lot of fun as a commander, not as Geralt, stuff like that. People are thinking, and they might get into it, and I hope when they play the single player campaign, and they're like, I didn't like Gwent in The Witcher 3. But I'll give it a try now, just because I want to play the single-player campaign and know the new stories. And maybe they're then, like, when they finish with the campaign, they're like, you know what? This was actually kind of fun and strategic. I want to play some more. then they get into the normal matchmaking, building their decks. The normal card game stuff. I hope it goes that way for a lot of, and I think for a lot of people it will go in that.
Or if they just, think about what they said. Okay, so the aftermath of Witcher 3, the monster single player, you fill the shoes of Eridan and learn their side of the story a little bit.
So cool.
Who's gonna be like, oh, no, I don't want to know. Yeah, you'd be like, yeah, I want to know. So so I agree. So I think we should probably wrap it up here. I'll let you start, if you could, sir, and wrap it up with your thoughts and you plug yourself. That sounded bad.
That's bad.
Don't plug yourself.
I think the biggest thing of today that we talked about were the patch notes, and I think they did a real good job. This is looking bright for the future because we recently knew that the lead designer left, and it's a huge deal. So right now, having those patch notes and being good as well is a really comforting thing, and I think Gwent is gonna go really bright and big into the coming months and days, years. Let's say that. I think it's gonna be a real competitor with Hearthstone, and I just hope they don't screw it up in any way. I can't see in which way, but in any way, and I don't think they will because it's CDPR. That's it was nice having you, Shifu. You're always great with your thoughts. We agree on a lot of things. That's also nice. But some disagreements are natural and good for some discussion. So it's always nice having you, and always nice being here on Gwent After Dark. Favorite show, of course. That's about it, I think.
Yeah, so I appreciate it, man. So this show, for me, the show wouldn't be the same without you. This is our show, so I thank you for being here as always. Sorry about Sunday. And we'll try to have a guest next Sunday because we've had 2 good shows, but we're ready to try to throw in a guest here. I have a couple ideas I'm trying to bounce around, but just want to throw out some plugs for some people that I've noticed over the past week that are good streamers. And I tend to do this. I try to promote other people just because it's just, I don't know, it's just the way I am. White Jack, if you haven't caught his streams.
I haven't, yeah.
Very good streamer. He's got a good little presentation going. BJ the Brave, I don't know if is another little known streamer right now, kind of coming into it. Very intelligent player. So BJ the Brave, White Jack, coming out there. Of course, everybody knows McBearded, Gray Boxer, Commander's Horn Crew. You might have heard of King Blacktooth. You want to check? Yeah, who? You might want to check those guys out. The Gwent Discord server. I don't know what happened to Clear Skies. One of them's in the audience. I don't know if they're really planning their next show, what's happening, but they had a good first show, and they may be coming back. And Manticore, he streams. I watched one. It wasn't my flavor, but it might be yours. Check him out. And or Manti, I think it goes by Mante. So check him out. But anyway, so Gwent After Dark every Sunday. Ruben, have you started your streaming? You're streaming, right?
Not yet. I streamed a little bit last week, just a little bit, but I don't have a steady schedule or anything, so don't advertise it.
Fair enough. I'm still not steady yet with my job because I'm a manager of a retail chain, so I don't have. In December is like the biggest time for American retailers, so I'm not going to have a steady schedule till January probably. I'm going to catch here and there. But we will do Gwent After Dark every week at some point. I promise we will do that at least. But check out Ruben VDB's YouTube channel, right?
So some stuff coming soon.
Yeah, I have my stuff I put on there. I just made my 100th video on Skellige resource control, and I have 25,000 views. I'm really proud of that and really happy with that. I'm small, but we're gonna get bigger as Gwent explodes. So thank you for everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Thank you, Little League and Mythic Pilot, for being in the audience today. We had a small our audience is dwindling. We got to figure out what to do with get our audience back in. If you're watching on Twitch and you've been talking, I'm very sorry. We just did Gwent After Dark Discord audience today, but we'll be back. And thank you everybody for watching. And I'll now do the curtain pull unless Ruben has something else he wants to add at the end.
See you next time, guys.
See you next time. Y'all have a good day. Bye.
Yeah, the VOD will be uploaded to Canada on Shifu's channel.
There we go. There's a little bit extra. Now we're talking behind the curtain. Now it's kind of feels kind of